Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. It is Thursday. Thanks for being here. The Curt and Jen in the Morning podcast. We love that you're listening and you're viewing.
Yes, if you're viewing, Curt said before we started recording, I'm calling him out. He's like, I gotta look more awake for these podcasts. I look tired.
I do. I'm not used to being on the...
And then I said, well, we just need to maybe sing and do a little exercises to I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. And he's like, what's that? Is that his song?
I'm sorry. I didn't think you'd do that for everybody. I tried to prevent it, everybody.
I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic.
On the show
I'm
today.
alive, alert, awake. I'm awake, alert, alive.
How about this funness? Is Little House on the Prairie coming back? It's possible, I can tell you. Also, the healthiest meal in the world. And we have an update on the American Airlines crash in D.C.
Oh, heartbreaking.
Situation there. Common things people find disgusting.
Yep. Are breakups harder on men or women? Mm-hmm. Our question of the day was the most uncomfortable place you've had sexy time. And I have realized something through this question.
I've realized something, too.
And how accurate is Punxsutawney Phil?
Your groundhog weather person. We will find that out. Here we go.
So many things. Okay, first.
Mm-hmm. All right, here, this is newsy news, and this is important to know. There was an American Airlines regional jet last night that crashed into a helicopter as it was approaching Reagan International Airport in Washington, D.C., about 8:50.
Which is the busiest airport, I think I read, in the country.
Right.
Like 800 flights. I mean, it's crazy.
They had, you could see on video, and this was from a camera far away, but you basically saw what you guess was the plane coming in for its landing, and then it got hit by a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter. And then both of those aircraft then crashed into the Potomac River. So they did a search and rescue immediately. At press conference this morning, D.C. officials confirmed that 28 bodies have been recovered so far.
Did you say of 64 total?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not, but now they know.
Now they know.
And officials said they were still searching for the casualties, did not believe there were any other survivors. Because apparently, I guess the plane split in two. The helicopter hit it and it split in two. Yeah, it was so then.
I just cannot with this. Mm-hmm. So sad. And there was, it doesn't matter how famous or not famous you were on that plane. Lots of lives were lost.
But there was
and the helicopter for that matter.
Ice dancing, like Olympic ice dancers.
Yeah, the couple that was married, they were both on that plane.
Yeah. Senior FBI official said no indication of any criminality or terrorism in the crash. But, of course, thoughts and prayers, as always, and they're doing
obviously a huge investigation on, what caused it and how can we avoid this again, like this situation in the future.
Okay. Onward?
Yes, onward. Kraken news. Mm-hmm. What does this mean? This is a complicated headline to me.
It's kind of a big deal because the Kraken goalie, Philip Grubauer, has been with the Kraken since day one. Right?
And you've talked to him. We talked to him, right?
I would call him a friend. I don't think he would call me a friend.
Right.
I'm going to say my friend, Philip Grubauer, has been struggling this year. Whether you watch a lot of hockey or not, this is kind of a big deal within Kraken Nation because he has been put on waivers. Basically, what that says is, you've been underperforming. It doesn't matter why, but basically he is available now for any other team that wants to pick him up can do so now. And after a period of being on waivers, I think then is when they say, well, nobody expressed interest, so you're going back to the minors, which in this case is the Kraken minor league team, the Coachella Valley Firebirds. And that has happened before, but I just think, most of the comments I was reading were saying, this is sad, we get it, but we really like Gru, so
yeah.
That's the thing where you understand. He also signed a pretty hefty deal when he was signed. So if you're not going to perform at like really high
at the $5.9 million
a year level. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
Gru, come on, get your groove back.
That's right. Think about your groove.
Get your groove back.
That could happen too. They could put him down to Coachella for a while, and they could say, "Oh yeah, you're," But Joey Decord, our other goalie, is doing very well. So
great.
He will.
Perfect.
All right. I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Okay, I don't either.
All right, Little House on the Prairie. Did you watch that when you were a kid?
Yeah, of course I did. Little Snotty Nellie.
That's who you related
Laura
to?
Ingalls. Yeah. But I didn't know. I did not like Nellie. She was not nice.
Right. She is not nice.
She was a little snot rocket.
So here's the deal. Netflix is thinking about, they're not thinking about it, they're rebooting Little House on the Prairie.
I can't believe it. What? So what was loosely, so the whole show was loosely based on the books Laura Ingalls Wilder
wrote. Yeah, from 74 to 83 is what it ran.
Yeah. And then Netflix said, well, you know what? That was very popular, so we're gonna reboot this thing and bring it back.
Which I'm wondering,
they haven't even cast it yet, or there's not even a start date. They're just saying, hey, listen, we're going to do this.
To me, it seems silly because Little House is on constantly. I can't get away from it, especially now that we get to watch TV during the day.
Did you read the last line of this whole article? The original series streams on Peacock, where people watched more than 13 billion minutes of it just in 2024. So that's why this sparked it. They're like, listen, if this is getting this many views, we're going to make some more money. Let's reboot this thing.
That makes it sound a lot bigger when they break it down to minutes. I mean, it's a 60-minute show, so if you divide 13... Anyway, so yes, it was very popular then. They think it's going to be popular again if you were a Little House on the Prairie fan. Who was the lead? Why can't I think of the actress? You probably already said it.
The actress?
Yeah, not Nellie, but the...
Laura Ingalls? I'd forget.
Ah, jeez. Why do I do that?
Who's the dad? The dad that passed away was
Michael...
yeah. Oh, for crying out loud. Move
Michael
along.
Landon was the dad.
Yeah.
All
Do you want me to look up
Melissa?
Laura?
It's Melissa something.
Melissa.
Okay. we may or may not look that up because we don't care that much. Melissa, it'll come to me.
We just wanted to let you know in case you were a Little House on the Prairie fan. I wonder if they're going to bring back the Waltons. Do you remember that show?
Yes, I didn't watch that either.
Or maybe they'll do a reboot of Leave It to Beaver.
I didn't watch that show either.
That could be that's probably rebooted
that's way before our
on
time.
like OnlyFans or something.
Jen found this, the healthiest meal in the world. You'll be happy to know that it includes some yummy things there as well. It's not all, bleh.
Okay, well,
Bleh.
okay. There's a nutritionist in England that came up with what she claims to be the healthiest meal in the world. It's not your average lunch, but like Curt said, it does include some cheese and chocolate, but don't get too excited yet. Mm-hmm. It's 3 courses. The starter is labna. We've never heard of this cheese. Labna cheese with roasted tomatoes and broccoli. So labna is a fermented cheese popular in the Middle East. So it's probably...
From our taste buds
standpoint, it's probably not going to be
the
great.
greatest. But
it's got healthy bacteria, though. It's good for your gut.
Other things have healthy bacteria.
And I saw the picture of the starter, and actually it looked pretty good. The main course, citrus mackerel salad with chickpeas, fennel, and red onions.
I'm in. I'm okay with that.
And that's that's one of the healthiest kinds of fish you can eat because it's loaded with omega-3s.
So, what about after that? Do you want
hold on. Don't you want to know what it's topped with? Olive, sauerkraut, and pumpkin seeds.
I was trying to get past that as well.
Okay. Dessert, tofu chocolate mousse with blueberries. But it calls for dark chocolate, not milk chocolate.
Dark chocolate
which is fine with me. I like that.
Getting back to the main course, one of the things that I have a difficult time with is viewing a salad as a meal. And I know that it is a meal. You can make giant salads with lots of protein in it and your choice of greens and whatever. But Dana will say, well, why don't we just have a salad tonight? And I'm like, a salad is...
Yeah, as long as we have some French fries with it.
Well, have you heard of the French fry salad?
No.
We just invented it. The French fry salad. But if you want to have what they're calling the healthiest meal in the world,
there you go.
Can do it. And it's not all terrible.
Common things people find disgusting.
We've done questions about like this before, like what's a normal thing that you think is kind of gross. But this is a different list. We're not asking you to chime in either, but in case you were wondering,
Curt found it funny. This is why, and it is funny. So
random things that gross some people out. This was a BuzzFeed deal, and they said
so. Readers of BuzzFeed weighed in on this.
Perfectly common things that some people find disgusting. So the feeling of lotion or moisturizer on the skin, I have an issue with that.
You do?
That's one of the reasons why I don't have my daily and my morning and nighttime routines is because you put that stuff on, I'm like, ooh, I can feel it. It's like sun lotion,
I'm a huge fan of lotion. I love it.
I think once it gets on you and you get used to it, then you crave
you're moisturized.
Other things that people said they find disgusting
that's common, like common things that people find disgusting.
Toddlers with food on their face.
Okay.
Followed by a mom with spit on a napkin.
When people floss in front of others, eating runny eggs. I love runny eggs, but only if it's the yellow part. If white part's runny, barfarama.
You and my wife are the same. She's like, make sure there's no runny white part, but there could be some runny yellow.
This is an interesting one. The feeling of wearing socks. So here's the thing. When I go to bed, I cannot wear socks. Like, no way. But during the day, I've got to wear socks. I don't love going barefoot.
Who wears socks to bed? A lot of people?
Many.
Okay, not me.
Many.
People say sitting in a warm seat that someone was just in kind of grosses them out.
That kind of grosses me out too. Or what about a toilet seat?
I guess, you mean like a public toilet seat?
Yeah, that's warm and you sit on it, it's already warm.
I think, well, this toilet seat doesn't have anything gross on it because there was just a body here.
I wiped down the toilet.
Well, you wiped down the toilet no matter what, right?
Yeah.
People also said some things that they find disgusting. Belly buttons. That depends on what body the belly button is on.
Okay.
I gotta say, I'm gonna just say it.
Yeah, for real.
How about dirty keyboards
and cotton balls? That's a weird one.
Cotton balls, a texture thing, I guess.
Okay.
This one, everybody think greasy phones, greasy lap, anything greasy, stuff that has been greased by previous greasy fingers. How's that?
Okay. Eating cake after someone has blown all over it. Okay. Well.
Are they referring to maybe a birthday cake?
Yeah, duh. I'll still eat the cake.
Is there anything else on here that we thought was
the cake?
I did the socks thing was. Oh, I did want to mention this.
If someone's blown on it, I'll still eat the cake.
Somebody says empty glasses of milk with a little bit that's left behind. It becomes this crusty, white, milky thing. Okay. Onward. Here we go.
Breaking up is hard to do. So take
Are breakups harder on men or women? Without reading this, Curt, what would you say? What would you guess?
I would guess that breakups are harder on women.
I would have guessed that too.
Are we
but
right?
They say that it's harder on men.
Well, of course.
You think I don't?
No,
I
based
don't
on
even
nothing
get
whatsoever.
this.
So of course,
a new study found that breakups tend to be harder on men than they are on women. There's a stereotype that women are more emotionally dependent, but it might be the opposite.
Maybe the men are more emotionally dependent in relationships. So
dependent, not independent.
I'm sorry, dependent. The study found that men tend to rely on their romantic partner for more emotional support. So women don't need as much because they also get it from their friends. That, I guess, is a good rational explanation. I think women are much more in touch with their friends. I love you. I love you. They're very, guys are like, what's up?
Dude.
What's up,
Okay, so on the outside looking in, though, it seems as though guys don't have a very hard time because typically they just move right on to a newer model.
I don't think that's well, you can't say typically. You don't have any information on that.
From my experience in my life and watching.
I would say that there are often times when, well, if the kindling of that new relationship is there and it causes the old relationship to fail, then the new relationship's going to pick up pretty much right away. That was the cause for the breakup, right?
So you're saying if they were cheating?
If there was something going on beforehand, I don't know, but then they talk about the rebound, relationships, and people will say, 3 weeks after you broke up, well, I got another. It's like, maybe back off a little bit.
But you know what? Here's the thing: we just got to stay in our own lane, and people do your own thing. Whatever's right for you, you do it.
And I like the fact that this just shows that people need people. We need each other.
Yeah.
So be nice.
Be nice.
Right?
Be supportive.
Okay, here we go.
Breaking up is hard to do.
Why are we doing it for this?
That's because I just wanted to put a capper on it by playing the song again. Or maybe I hit the wrong button.
Okay, what's the most uncomfortable place you've had sexy time? Now, I am a little disappointed in that, one, many of you did not respond to normally respond. Two, some people that normally respond copped out and said, I can't say that.
I wish I could post anonymously with another one.
Yeah.
I'm just uncomfortable saying the words sexy time, but we all know what that means. That was your choice, right?
Brown chicken, brown cow.
I should have had that music ready to go. Where's the most uncomfortable place you had sexy time? Janet says Nordstrom dressing room and in car with driver while driving down the highway.
I mean, we should have probably saved that one for last. The Nordstrom dressing room.
And
driving down the highway. I mean, I may or may not have done that one.
Okay, Jen says, I wish I could post it. Not you. I wish I could post anonymously. Not anonymously. Is this both the same Anne by these? Both of these?
Anne is Jen's mom, and Anne responded to Jen's comment like I wish you could too. I wish you could post.
Anne said, in my husband to be dad's camper. It was parked in the family driveway. And also Anne said on a rock by the railroad tracks. There's that song by Neil Diamond called Love on the Rocks.
I think that might be a different Anne. There's two different Annes.
All right.
On a rock at the railroad track. That's got to hurt.
Neil Diamond song. Love on the rocks. It's hard in the back. That's not the lyrics.
I was just going to say that is not in the song.
No. Rita actually said the most uncomfortable place of having sexy time was on the USS Kitty Hawk in 1974.
I mean, Rita.
San Diego with my
husband. You go, girl. That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome, too. Debbie, loving an elevator.
Living it up while I'm going down.
That's Debbie's answer. At least part of that.
Leslie Ann, I want to know your answer.
She said I had to pass on this one along with Laurel, who said me too. There's a couple of regulars there.
But then Becky, she's like, I did it on the 18th green at a golf course.
And Corey said, hole in one, hottie. I like that one.
I feel like I'm going to change that question prompt so it'll be similar, but what's the coolest place you've ever had sexy time?
For another question or for this one?
No, for another question sometime.
Eh.
I got to remember to write that down. So
Everybody approves. Twix.
Wait a second. Did you have an answer for that question?
Oh, probably
Most
in...
uncomfortable place for sexy time. For me, it was a driveway.
Wow.
Sorry, Mom. I know she listens.
Against the bathroom wall at my sister's house.
At your sister's?
We were visiting. It was during a football game. It was halftime.
Oh my gosh. Did anyone notice that 2 people went into the bathroom and 2 people came out?
I thought my then girlfriend said she was feeling
Frisky.
She was feeling ill, not good. And I was like, okay, are you all right? And I was like, no, I was like, okay, I'll go with you. I thought I might have to be a hair holder. Turns out.
Dang. Okay.
Right. How about back to Twix?
Twix, yes.
Twix Candies is offering you a chance at something pretty stinking cool coming up here. This coincides with the Super Bowl. Of course, they're doing a Super Bowl commercial. Twix has announced they want you to go to Twix.com on your phone during every commercial break and compete in a staring contest. So this is they've got a contest for you not to watch the commercials. They want you, when the Super Bowl commercial break comes on, it's like, leave your TV, go to Twix.com, compete in the staring contest.
How does that even work? Is there more information?
The screen is going to have on it 2 gold bars with an eye on each one, which apparently belongs to the hip-hop duo, the Yin Yang Twins. I have no idea why that's in there.
Okay.
They will keep track of how long you stare and how many ad breaks you participate.
The higher your score, the more contest entries you receive at the end.
One winner is going to receive 2 actual gold bars worth about $170,000.
I mean, that's a good payout. I might participate.
Yeah. And
because you can watch those commercials right now, probably on YouTube.
I don't know if you get credit for the staring contest, but think about that. You, again, from the marketing standpoint, this is basically them saying, listen, we're paying a bunch of money for are they doing a Super Bowl commercial at all? They're not. They're saving money by saying, don't watch Super Bowl commercials. Go to our website.
And this is, instead of buying a Super Bowl commercial for $8 million a pop.
Instead, they're basically spending $170,000 on 2 gold bars and hopefully getting the same kind of results from. Yeah. Okay. You like it?
I kind of like it.
Does it feel like it's tricking people?
Yeah. It's Twixing people. I feel like I'm on fire today.
Glad you feel that way. All right. Sunday is Groundhog Day. It says, where America attempts to capture the true excitement of a large squirrel predicting the weather. It's not a large squirrel.
It's a groundhog.
Groundhog. So about 5% of people believe Punxsutawney Phil. This is the groundhog there in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. About 5% of people say he is always 100% right. But that's definitely not the case.
That is not the case, people.
In fact, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration,
put together some stats on groundhogs from across the U.S. to see who's been the most accurate over the past couple of decades. First of all, I had no idea that there was more than one groundhog
there are a bunch
that actually predicted weather.
Yeah, but apparently there are several areas that have their own groundhog that does weather predictions.
How did Phil get so famous?
I don't know. He had a good marketing team,
I guess.
So here are the top 5 other groundhogs that predict weather and how accurate they are. We have Staten Island Chuck.
Okay, Chuck.
Out of New York, his accuracy is 85%.
Why aren't we going to New York to check out Chuck's prediction?
Well, he's the most accurate of them all, followed by General Beauregard Lee out of Georgia. He's 80% accurate. Then how about this one?
Lander Lil,
Wyoming.
Wyoming. She isn't actually a groundhog. She's a bronze statue of a prairie dog. That's close. But that's close enough, they say, in Wyoming.
That can't count.
She's 75% right. Compared to, we're getting to this, Phil's accuracy.
Okay.
Punxsutawney Phil.
The final two in the top 5 are Concord Charlie in West Virginia at 65% accurate. 5th place is Gertie the Groundhog in Illinois. She's right also 65% of the time. Where does Phil end up on this list?
17th with an accuracy rate of 35%.
Punxsutawney Phil's accuracy rate is only 35%, and yet he's the A number 1 big guy as far as groundhogs go.
I've always said that weather people, they have the best job. They can be wrong so many times and still not get fired.
I think it's a thankless job because if here in the Seattle, we have a kind of funky weather patterns just because of our location between 2 mountain ranges and stuff like that. I think it's very difficult to predict the weather here.
Well, they would say they would agree, and their stats would match.
I wonder how much one of the local weather people what their accuracy.
Who's the most accurate weather person in Seattle?
Rich Marriott?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I got to push a button.
Probably Steve Poole when he was alive. He was very famous.
Let's give it to
person
Steve.
here.
Yeah,
I like to give it to Steve
because he's a good dude.
Yeah. Okay. This is crazy. So this was on viral. This went viral. Of course it went viral because a woman, an Aussie Instagram model named Emily, posted a video claiming she bought a wrap sandwich at a place in New Zealand. As she was taking a couple bites of it, and then she bit into something hard, and it was orange. So she's like, "Oh, what's the deal with this carrot? This is
weird.
Maybe not a carrot because this doesn't look right."
It was the handle of a knife.
The handle of a knife. And she's like, it's a good thing I didn't start eating from the other end. I would have
oh God, can you imagine?
No, I
Especially
cannot.
if the blade was pointed,
It was one of those little, I have one of those kind of knives.
Right.
Mine has a black handle though,
And
but
the sandwich makers, obviously somehow it got mixed in with the wrap and there you go.
so it's going viral because, how does that even happen? But also because of her reaction. She called it funny. And says, like I said, she said, this is funny, and I'm just lucky I didn't open it from the other end and start eating from the other end. But people in the comments were like, sue her, sue, like sue the restaurant.
I'm glad that she posted a follow-up and said she wasn't hurt, so what would she sue for? She didn't want to get the worker fired and slipped in a nice dig on the U.S. saying, this isn't America. Huh. Agreed. Sometimes this obviously is human error here.
Yeah.
But we, completely side story, my first wife and I used to own a Subway restaurant.
Yeah.
I was doing radio in Toledo, and we ended up buying a Subway restaurant.
Because, why not? Let's buy a Subway.
That's another story for another day. However, we were told emphatically by our lawyer, you have to have this much in umbrella insurance, blah, 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 because there was an actual case of this happening. Someone was walking down, not where ours was walking down the street, looking at a restaurant they were going to go to. Let's just say for the sake of argument, it was Burger King or whatever.
Okay.
They tripped on a gap in the sidewalk, and then they went on to sue the restaurant because they were looking at the restaurant, thinking about going there when they tripped.
And they won?
I don't know what the outcome was, but they're like, you need to be protected. Which
That's a bunch of
do
bologna
think
slices.
This is a very, very litigious country.
Yeah,
then again,
for
you've also got ambulance chasers going to these people saying, hey,
yeah,
you got to sue.
No.
You got to sue.
Yeah.
No, suing is bad. Sometimes.
All right. We've come to our question of the day for today that we hope will answer on our Facebook page, Curt and Jen in the Morning.
Now, and this is another one where you might say, I want to answer anonymously, but we are expecting you to be brave. And hopefully with this question, the other members of your family know what you're talking about.
This is an easy one. Among your friends and family, what are you famous for? What are you famous for among your friends and family?
What would
Do
you
have
say?
an answer?
Probably several things. My sister said it recently when I was in Florida. Actually, she said, sometimes you just don't pay attention. I was like, I don't know if I'm famous for that.
Oh.
Yeah, come on. I'm like, hey, man, ADD. That's right there. But famous for.
I think that maybe my friends would think and family would think I'm too energetic, maybe?
You are famous for that amongst everybody. And maybe I'm famous for, I don't know. I think I'm always trying to lighten the situation, even when
funny.
it's not really lightenable.
Being funny, yeah.
I think it's like,
yeah.
Sometimes like, seriously, man, take it seriously.
I'm excited for how people answer this.
Mm-hmm. Among your family and friends, what are you famous for? There should be some fun answers in here.
And here's the thing. If you have not already followed us on Facebook, Curt and Jen in the Morning. Curt with a C.
Jen with
and
one N.
Jen. Yeah, you'll find us. And just please follow us because then our feed comes up and you get to see that question of the day, hopefully, every day.
Right. And hopefully by now you've already thought of what you're famous for amongst your family. You've had some time.
Yes. This brings us to the conclusion of today's podcast
Program.
episode.
Thank you, as always, for listening. As Jen mentioned, if you take a second to like or follow or subscribe, we would just really appreciate it.
Yeah, hit that little heart button or the like button or the thumbs up button, whatever it is. We would
Right
love to
there.
do. Yeah. Have an awesome day. Make good choices. Find joy. Spread kindness and laugh.